Jason Kish, and this is my 69 Mustang Coupe. I have always loved Mustangs ever since I was a kid. Reason being is some of my most vibrant memories are when I was young. My dad worked in a Ford dealership at Niemer Ford, and I would run around the showroom. I was kind of like their mascot, if you could call me that. And I sat in every car. I shifted the 5 speeds, and I remember sitting in Mustangs ever since I was 8, dreaming of someday having my own. My dad bought me a Mustangs Monthly magazine, and I found a 1969 428 Mach 1 Mustang in that. And I remember as vividly as I'm talking now, the feeling I got when I was like, I want that car. Well, my first car was a Mustang, a 1980. My second car was an 88 Mustang. And then for many years I was Mustangless. Until just recently, when I got the itch to get another sports car. I was working at Legacy Traditional Schools as an assistant principal, and I befriended the most amazing teacher I could ever think of. His name was Vincent Rizzoli. Vincent Rizzoli was special because he not only just did his job, he did his job with such passion. And even now I just remember his ability to talk to kids, and I believe that really stuck with me. When Vinny and I were first talking about cars, he had this awesome black Cadillac, and I told him I wanted to get a Mustang or some kind of muscle car, and I told him my story of loving Mustangs all my life. And we just talked and talked. We were out on Drivetrain watching kids pass by, and we would just wave and talk about cars and rate cars as they drove by. It just stuck with me. When I found out Vinny had cancer, you don't even believe it at first, and you go through the denial and you go through the shock. It was one day I visited him at his house, and he didn't have much time left, and he was listless, kind of staring off into nothing. And I held his hand. I said, Vinny, I bought a Mustang, and I'm gonna name it after you. And his eyes focused in on those words. His eyes brightened up, and I'll never forget it, but he nodded. And in that moment I knew that he heard something. Today, I want to introduce Vinny, a 1969 Mustang. When I was looking for cars, you just don't know what you're looking at. Honestly, I would have been stumbling over myself from day one if it wasn't for Kevin. Kevin Fellion, my brother-in-law, just had moved from Vermont, and he's a master craftsman. He builds homes, he builds cars, and when I told him I wanted to try and find a muscle car, some kind of Mustang, I had settled on a Mustang by that point, and he's like, why do you want to get a modern Mustang? Get something that no one else has. Get something that you can make your own. I was like, I don't know how to do that. Well, I'll help you. Those are his exact words. Well, we'll work on it together. And that was 2.5 years ago. We found a 69 Coupe, and we were looking for a 69 particularly because that's what I wanted. It was in a little warehouse, and he's like, this is the one, we should grab this one right now. So I towed it back, and he kind of explained what kind of vision he had for the car, and I told him I wanted a car that, if we have the options, because he said we can do whatever you want. I said I wanted to make this thing drive modern, but look old. And he's like, we can do that. First thing we started looking at was suspensions. We did a Mustang II suspension on the front and a 4-link suspension in the back. We bought those components, and then we started working on the body. The body work was sand. Just keep sanding, that Finding Nemo song. We got all the paint off. We started cutting metal, quarter panels, rear quarter panels, rear fenders, cut the whole back end off, welded new metal components to it, and then he's like, okay, now Bondo. And every stage of this, I'm saying to myself, what am I doing? And Kevin just confidently said, you want it? He says it like this: if you want to go fast, you gotta go slow. Kevin, I knew I'd get that in there for you. I would fumble here and there, and he'd get, you know, typical Bulldog on me, but because that's his nickname, Bulldog. But we worked every weekend on this thing. I think he was about to kill me several times when I said, what's next, what's next, what's next? Because I have the patience of a squirrel on crack. But we just kept at it every weekend. There were times when he wanted to kill me, and I could understand him, but we got there in the end, and we painted it. I rented a booth down in Phoenix, and we painted it, and it started to really come together at that point. The green, the jade silver, which is the original color of the car, just popped, and it was everything I had hoped it was. And then the interior started going in slowly but surely. And then the FiTech Fuel Injection system was on, and we started it for the first time, and it sounded beautiful. I tell you what, this car, it takes you back in time. It takes you to a place where you don't worry about seat belts. I know that sounds so crude and draconian, but you don't care about seat belts. You don't care about like anything. You just drive it. You feel everything. You hear everything. My wife calls it your five senses car, because you feel it, you smell it. If you smell it enough, you taste it. Yeah, everything else just kind of fades away when you're driving it. So at this point, it is 99.9% done. I think I've been saying that for 6 months now, but the hood is still going to get painted flat black. The hood pins right now are not in it. Of course, the Mustang symbol has to be put on the side. And there's a fin, rear spoiler, that needs to be put on the back. To be honest, if nothing else happened to this car from this point forward, I'd be happy, and I would drive it like it's a dream. So the rest of this is just frosting on top of a cake. And through this process, you know, this car wasn't made by just me or just Kevin, but, you know, I got so much respect and love for so many people out there that helped me bring this vision to be. Young man Peter right now that's helping me film this. He is a genius in so many ways and an artist in so many ways. I met him when he made me my shift knob, and I couldn't believe the craftsmanship that he put into that. And I said, dude, you rock this. It's gorgeous. And the people at O'Reilly Auto Parts that got to know me, like, you just, every step of the way. And Mustang Restorations on Facebook, and my wife, oh my gosh, she would ask, so what are you guys working on next? I said, I don't know, the next thing. She's like, is it almost done? Almost. How much did that cost? Not much. that was our Friday morning, Saturday morning conversations. And the parts that were collected in her office in our guest bedroom just, I know, drove her insane, but I'm so thankful as of right now, staring at this car in the Estrella Mountain Ranch golf course, that this is what this village has helped me bring. And all the love and respect to builders and craftsmen out there who make beautiful things. You make a beautiful world. Thank you.